Hey yo, it's your boy Agent Albatross here again with the Cypher Unlimited crew. We got Alpha Dean or Dean, and we got Spigs or Anthony. And as usual, Dean, why are we here today?
Well, today we have an interesting little group of guys, the Rule of Lore. Henry Nolan, Freeman Luma, and Lucas Santana. These guys, three friends who decided to come together because cosmic forces drew them in to get them all engrossed and, amped up. And now, they're streamers by day and superheroes by night. So, guys, tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Well, I mean, like you said, we're a group of friends. We came together. We've been gaming together for a while now. And after the two of us, Freeman and I, went to Gen Con last year, we kind of came back trying to brainstorm ways of adding our voices to that community. So here we are streaming and trying to get into the streaming game.
Nice.
Awesome. First off, guys, welcome to the CU. It's
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you guys here. What exactly is Rule of Lore? Rule of Lore. I said law again. What exactly is Rule of Lore?
It's kind of a tongue twister on purpose.
Yeah, we purposely want people to have a hard time saying our name. I think that'll stick in their brain.
It's memorable. It's hard.
Yeah.
Could you?
Yeah, sure. Well, Rule of Lore is a internet content creation project, mostly on Twitch, and we just want to live stream tabletop role-playing games and sort of build it with an ethos of like openness and anti-gatekeeping, like showing that role-playing games are for everybody, and have possibly rotating guests and stuff like that, and just kind of doing it from the seat of our pants without a lot of money or resources to start, just trying to make it work,
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I hope so.
I heard, I don't remember what I was watching the other day, I think, but somebody said something to the effect of, I cannot recommend enough the power of not knowing what the hell you're doing.
Nice.
And I think we sort of embody that. So
It's definitely a motto we kind of live by here at the CU. But,
yeah.
Don't tell anybody. But
just to piggyback, what are your guys' roles with the company? What does everyone individually do, if we could ask?
Well, right now we're small enough that we sort of are, and we're early enough in our development that we all kind of just do a little bit of everything, try to get everything done.
That's us.
Yeah. So, I mean, Freeman, you've kind of been helming the personnel.
Yeah, personnel, looking for people who are interested in this and would like to be on camera and play games with us,
Yeah.
And but I've been kind of trying to tap the local resources here in town with the theater, and
yeah, it's really helpful. One of the things that we talked about when we first got this started, when it came to people that we wanted to get going, is having some people who are comfortable on camera and in front of an audience, and naturally that led us to the theater. So this guy has some connections going way back with the theater. So
it's true. Those are some stories for later.
But piggyback real quick. What was your role in theater? Like what was your capacity in the theater there? Like what did you do?
Well, I did. I guess I did a little bit of everything.
Jack of all trades.
Honestly, I did a few acting roles for a Shakespeare in the Park that we have here. I did a little bit of backstage managing and lights and sound. A little bit of everything. Setting up, tearing down the set after.
But now that we're talking about your gamings and Rule of Lore and whatever have you, can you tell us about your personal experiences in gaming, and why did you guys decide to start a Twitch show?
Well, my experience with tabletop gaming actually started. I think I'm not sure which came first, but I think you and Henry invited me to his house once a long time ago, and we just sort of did like a quick little one-off. And every time we met after that, we just kept doing like a whole bunch of different systems, new games, and all these like little indie systems. And then at one point, I think I decided that I just really wanted to. I got the bug, the GM bug, and I decided I could do that. And but I made the mistake of starting with trying to homebrew a system first, and it was a mess. But yeah.
I think everyone at one point tries to homebrew the system so they realize how much work it actually takes.
When I was 16 or 17, I was playing a lot of video games, and I tried to make a system. And one part of it I remember is that I had armor was like a percentage. So you'd roll the dice to see how much damage you did, and then you'd take a calculator out and do like, okay, away 35% of that. So it's just mechanics in game, World of Warcraft and stuff like that.
Nice.
It's always hard to implement those kind of mechanical things in a tabletop like setting.
You got to make some changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when I was like 15 or 16, I had a pal, and he had a third edition player's handbook or a monster manual, and he just cobbled together this very complex system that he was purposely using me to try to break the system, to try to see where the kinks were, and that was a roller coaster and a lot of
Yeah. And like for the last 3 years, we were sort of drifting, after like school and stuff like that, and we kind of all came back. And one day I ran into Henry in the parking lot of the grocery store, and I was like, "Hey, want to play some D&D?" And so we got a group together, and like almost 3 years later, we're still like playing weekly. And last year, Freeman and I, like I mentioned, we went to Gen Con, and like I was expecting it to be really just insane, and it was, but neither of us were prepared for was just the awe of seeing all these people coming from all over the place just to share in a love of tabletop gaming. And when we saw that, I mean, Freeman will even tell you as soon as we got on the plane on the way back, I was like, all right, how are we going to get into this? How are we going to add this space and kind of, basically be like an amplifier for that positivity that we found in that community. So.
Oh, you guys going back this year?
Yeah.
Yep.
All three of us are going back this year.
I'm going to Gen Con, baby.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see you there.
We'll see you there.
I won't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, you could either definitely find us at the Monty Cook Games book. I'm in booth, or just hit us up. But we'll definitely be around. And we're usually the guys throwing buttons at people. We're not hard to
Nice.
We're the loudest guys in the room. So
they normally have to tell us to shut up.
Oh yeah. I can relate. That yeah.
So that takes us into like a question that I wanted to ask you guys. Now, first of all, before I ask the question, I'm going to give a little background, because you guys hatched this whole channel, to share your passion, and you're marrying the idea of, games and improvisational theater, dramatic and compelling narratives, and all of this kind of stuff. So you guys came up with Ramblemancy, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
Is it Ramble or Rumble?
Ramble.
Yeah, okay, Ramblemancy. So that being said, you guys discuss a variety of topics and game systems. How do you come up with these topics?
Good question.
We don't know. I'll let you know once we have an answer to that. No, we kind of just brainstorm them, and like we have meetings where we sort of will work out our topics for several weeks in advance. Come up with topics that are broad enough that we can sort of talk about them in depth, but also kind of go all over the place and let the conversation go where it goes. So yeah.
Yeah, our Ramblemancy is just sort of, in some ways, it's just sort of a way to prove to ourselves that we can like stream consistently, to like make content while we're preparing for like the components and the actual personnel, the people to have a live streamed tabletop role playing game, which is like the meat of this project. But Ramblemancy is just like, we find ourselves staying up late, just like talking about all kinds of weird, like fantasy, gaming, sci-fi, storytelling related topics. We're like, let's just do this, and maybe people will like it and not hate it too much.
The funny thing that's weird to me is that like I participate in actual plays, but I can't really sit through an entire actual play.
Yeah.
But editorial pieces like that, opinionated pieces, I could listen to the whole thing. And
Yeah.
I enjoy watching people talk about gaming, their experience in gaming. To me, it's more enjoyable. When Lucas first sent me the text, about I went and watched your catalog, and I appreciate those conversations. Friends just talking about gaming. It has a real authentic feel to it. I think you guys are doing a good job.
And I
Thank
think
you.
to kind of piggyback on what Anthony's talking about, that whole thing, actual plays, I've never made it more than 15 minutes trying to watch
I can do more than 15 minutes.
and I'll be honest with you, actual plays, because I'm a game master, because I'm a player, actual plays kind of bore me if I'm not involved. Whereas like you're saying, to listen to somebody who gives opinions, or somebody to give, some insights and things like that into the whole process is quite interesting. And it's also, I think, inspiring, but that's just me.
Yeah, the cool thing about Twitch is that you can talk to the people who are watching you.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to do in an actual play. And once we figured that out in Ramblemancy, it was way more fun and better.
Yeah.
We were just kind of trying to sit there like we were giving lectures at first. And that's not how this shit works.
Yeah. We go back and watch our first couple of episodes on tabletop gaming, and it's like we're sitting there. It's like a, it's like we're giving lectures, and just like that. But our idea for Ramblemancy is because one of the things about our whole channel is that we wanted to make it about sort of the community as well, and Ramblemancy was our way of building that before we even got into our actual play. We decided that we wanted to find some way of building and fostering our own community in a way that is just sort of casual and has a very quick sort of, you don't have to, it's not too unattainable. What's the word?
No, it's a low price of admission type deal, right?
Yeah. You just kind of show up, you hang out, you can listen, or you can participate. It's up to you, and that's kind of what we want to sort of build here, is that you participate in what's happening as much or as little as possible as you want, basically. So
definitely a good way to grow a community.
Growing a community, that's what we're all about. We're all about uniting gamers, highlighting streamers, highlighting content producers. It's a small, it seems like a small little niche market, but there's so many helpful people. Everyone has been so supportive of each other, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And if there's anything we could do for your guys, don't hesitate to ask.
Hey, well,
you're doing this.
Honestly,
I just found out that Lucas is Puerto Rican, so Baya, I gotta respect my Boricua brother.
It's funny because it's funny that you bring that up, because the other day I ended up in a whole thread on Twitter. One of the person who's going to be doing our character art for our upcoming actual play, she through her streams, because she streams her art, and through her streams I ended up kind of getting in touch with another a Puerto Rican artist, and so I ended up following her on Twitter, and then hours later we ended up in a whole thread where there are all these Puerto Rican content creators and YouTubers who were bringing in and adding people and saying, hey, go follow this person, and all of a sudden my notifications were full of Puerto Rican flags, and so it was amazing. It was so much fun, and that's one of the things that wouldn't have happened probably had it not been for the tabletop gaming community,
it happens, I kind of had the same thing just recently with DC Constant on Twitter, another black guy out there, creating stuff, and it's I think that's something else we kind of try to capitalize on. We like people who are diverse, and we like people who are trying to, you guys, I loved with Henry, right, in your plaid shirt. Henry, you said it you buck the system against the gatekeepers. And I love it. I don't know, I put a big thing up on Twitch the other day about that. Is what, gatekeepers beware, because I don't crash gates.
Yeah.
I obliterate them.
Battering ram.
That's the best way to be.
Seriously, I just can't do it, man. I've been into this gaming thing for over 40 years now, and I know a lot of people of color, of varying cultures and stuff, who and genders and everything else, who love to play, and you can't you can't close the doors.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is like, I think that this like the space of tabletop gaming, it's always kind of been a refuge for like the sort of marginalized and downtrodden, you know, because it's about the fantasy, about being able to play in a world that is like accepting of who you are, you know. That's like the ultimate fantasy, I think, in some ways. And so like it's the perfect venue for that kind of thing, to explore that, you know. So
it's also really funny that most of the geeky, quote geeky hobbies, were like said in hushed tones on the corner of the back table of a high school lunchroom.
Yeah.
And and now those same people want to stop someone else from enjoying something. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I saw something on Twitter somebody said something, I can't even remember who it was, but it was somebody that I follow on Twitter saying something like, gatekeeping is like a really just cruel and very unkind thing to do, but it's not an effective thing to do, because how are you planning on stopping all these people from being in the hobby? Like, how? You can't,
You just can't.
Well, how do you expect a hobby to survive if you cut and
It's self-destructive. Yeah.
Well, not only that, what I find hilarious about the gatekeepers, the typical, like that one guy that you put the video up for Anthony.
Oh yeah.
The guy was talking about, that it was basically for, the white guys, and I'm laughing because I'm like, but you want to play elves and dwarves and tieflings and so you're already like jumped into the diversity bag already with what you're trying to do.
Yeah, but elves are white people. Didn't you know that? Elves are white people.
They only play humans. They don't play anybody else.
It's just the funniest thing in the world to me. It's just like totally crazy.
All right, so since we done took this boat far steered to the left, let's bring it back, right? And your guys actually are starting an actual play. It's called Dungeons and Dorm Rooms. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's yes.
Your guys hesitated a little. Did I get it wrong?
No, not at all. Just weren't sure if where you were going with that.
And your guys are using 5e. Is this your first foray into an actual play stream? And if so,
it is.
what are you expecting to be like the difficulties opposed to a home game?
Ooh.
And then we can laugh about all the mistakes you're going to tell us right now.
Honestly, that's a question I've never really thought about the answer to that, because I've been so focused on just making it happen that I haven't even I was actually saying to a friend of mine today that I'm so focused on just getting us there that, because if I think about actually doing it, actually running the game, I'm going to start panicking, and I can't do that.
I definitely feel that though.
Yeah, you do fine. Everybody.
No, there is no panic.
How about Henry? What are your guys expecting?
I'm still, I guess, the thing I get nervous or whatever about is trying to be myself and be normal when I know there's cameras and possibly as many as 15 people watching or something. Like I love role playing so much, and I'm not super uncomfortable on camera or anything, I think, but I definitely like the hair raised on the back of my neck. I'm in a different state of being, but I think we're getting better at it already, just streaming a little bit, getting used to it. It's also I guess I don't know, figuring out how to weight mechanics versus the actual role playing part. It might be a different paradigm than when you're just playing with people in behind closed doors late at night.
I think I'm a little nervous, of course, but I think I'm more comfortable if I am going to be playing a character as opposed to being myself, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how
interesting.
because I'm going to not be Freeman.
That is a great point.
But with a name like Freeman, you could be so many things, Freeman, Freeman.
I get that.
I mean, the best bit of advice I would give you is don't worry about the rules so much. Is the most important part is to keep the narrative flowing, especially on the live stream. I get turned off when someone is looking up a rule in any sort of video stream.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, you know what? And here's the thing. Think about it the same way you think about Cypher. You guys play Cypher system, right?
Yeah, we've played a
little
few
bit,
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then just think about it the same way as that way. Rules really don't matter. It's the fun. It's the narrative. It's the story. You guys, you might even want to fool around with fudging some of the rules just before you ever go on camera, just to get used to it, so everything continues to move.
Yeah. And I've been that's a really good point, because one of the things that I work with a team who we were working on kind of fleshing out the setting and that kind of stuff. And today we were actually even talking about in that team sort of figuring out ways to fudge because the thing about Dungeons and Dragons, I love Dungeons and Dragons, but one of the things that is true about it is that it is a very, maybe not the crunchiest system, but it is a crunchy system. There's a lot of mechanics in there. And so for me, one of the things I'm trying to work out before we even start streaming is figuring out ways of fudging the mechanics a little bit to like skew towards the more dramatic and the role-playing sort of stuff. And that's something that I am like putting a lot of effort into, mostly because of exactly what you just said, which is that, it's not a lot of fun to watch people like say, oh, hold on, I don't know that rule. Let me just real quick, 5 minutes later, they're like, all right, let's get back to the drama.
What's the carrying capacity equation?
I mean, it's cool in your home game. It's cool in your home game because you're not worried about other people watching you. But when you actually start streaming, it's an entirely different story. But if you look at like the stuff that Matt Mercer, if you look at what he does, he never concentrates on the rule. He gets more rules wrong in an episode than most GMs. But it doesn't matter because he knows what's most important. What's most important is keeping that narrative going.
Exactly.
And he can do a million freaking voices. So
It definitely helps.
Yeah.
Another thing that's really cool. I don't know if you guys ever checked it out, but check out Titanfall. What's his name?
Will Wheaton.
Yeah, Will Wheaton's Titanfall.
Oh, yeah.
Check out some of those streams. They actually do a really good job of keeping the mechanics out of the way, but keeping this, but keeping it viable, but keeping it moving.
Right.
Which is really cool.
Titan's Grave?
Titan's Grave.
Titan's Grave.
The only thing about those is those are heavily edited. Like I always get the feeling like it's a 4-hour session that they turn into a 30-minute video.
Yeah, I mean, like just like you get kind of turned off by actual plays. For me, I get turned off by the highly produced, highly edited games because it feels less authentic to me. It's like you're cutting out all the stuff that like makes a tabletop game about the people playing it, and so like for me, against those types of streams, because I know like giants like Geek and Sun, they do the actual plays, but they're like the full unedited sort of stuff. But for me, I find when I come to tabletop games, the thing that interests me the most about them is the table dynamics. The people at the table. How do they act? Not just the characters, but the people. And that's something I like to see. So, that's kind of one of the things I'm heavily focusing on for our thing is those kinds of dynamics and the characters and the players.
Nice.
Yeah, we definitely gonna watch and support. So you gotta can you give us a air date for this?
Sorry, say again.
Air date.
An air date.
Like
we've been intentionally keeping that sort of under wraps for the time being, just because we don't want to make promises that we can't keep. Seeing as how we've already had to make so many changes behind the scenes that nobody knows about except for us because we kept it hidden. So, but within the next couple of weeks, we'll probably announce it on Ramblemancy. But soon is the best answer I can give you. Very soon.
TM.
Capital S TM.
Yes.
Guys, we're gonna have the link down below to the Twitch channel, so you're gonna have to tune in to find out when their first actual play.
Yeah, this whole thing was actually just a ploy to like
breadcrumbs.
Exactly, that's how we
It's
do.
really going on in 11 months. So you got 11 months of views.
Do you guys see the size of my head? Breadcrumbs will never do.
But now that we're talking about Twitch and starting your show, whatever have you, I know you guys are just getting started. But do you have any advice on just getting started for listeners who want to get started on doing their own like Twitch or YouTube recordings or whatever have you? And what are some pitfalls they could potentially avoid that you may have run into yourselves?
Well, honestly, we've had actually surprisingly smooth sailing from the beginning. So our pitfall, we don't have a lot of experience with pitfalls just yet. But one of the things I can say is that the best thing to do is to just start, honestly, because like nobody in essence, we're all just sort of like anxious creators, and just trying to like, get our content out there. And like the only way that you're ever going to be an expert in anything is by just doing it. So, and that's kind of what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing. We tell everybody up front that this is a learning process for us too. So that's the best thing I can say is just start.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we spent like kind of a lot of time researching like audio and video equipment and how Twitch works and stuff. And that was useful. But like I personally feel way better if we're just making something, even if it's not good. Like you do stuff that makes you feel good, and that gives you the energy to keep doing it. I guess I don't know. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
that's very good advice. I can definitely feel that way when we produce our little videos or whatever have you. There's that anxious, energy leading up to it. Then you make it, and you're like, oh shit, I could just keep making things. Like,
yeah, it feels good to just do it.
Yeah, and once you do it once, it gets easier the next time, and easier the next time, and it just keeps getting easier the more you do it. And yeah. And we haven't reached the point where it's like completely stress free, and I don't know that we ever will.
Where do you guys record at?
We record at the moment in like a little back room in my house. So we kind of threw together this sort of backdrop thing to sort of make it look like we're not in fact in our. But
you know what's funny? I told Al yesterday. I said I think they recorded a college. It just had that like feel to me.
I can't tell you how many rooms in my actual college had walls that looked just like this. So, yeah.
Like the partition walls.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, we're hoping that our goal is to eventually get like dedicated studio space, but that's a ways off, and we sort of set our sights high and slowly lowered them to meet reality as we started like actually trying stuff. So one day, but not yet.
Yeah.
Well, with all that being said, we've touched on this new stream that's getting ready to come out and all that. So we talked a little bit about Cypher. You guys are using 5e. Are there any other systems or games that you enjoy running, or just playing for that matter?
You've got one.
What? Foo?
Yeah.
Foo. Foo is a super simple RPG by a guy named Nathan Russell, I think.
Yeah,
I think he's Australian. And it's so simple. It's like your character is 4 words: body, mind, edge, flaw, and like that's it. And it uses 6-sided dice. But I think the thing I love about it is that you pick sort of carefully pick the words that describe your character, and then the mechanics aren't of numbers or anything. They're in like, if you want to like rules lawyer in it, it's about what words mean, and and I like that. I like that prosaic nature of it, and it's so easy to throw together. Like it's like anywhere you could just use it like a sticky note as a character sheet and play it with anybody anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only have done one shots with it, but I think that there's some other people have like made supplements for it for making the rules more complicated. But it's simple, but it's satisfying. There's enough mechanics. There's still dice rolling, So that's one I like.
What's it called? I've never heard.
Oh, sorry. It's called FU, just the letters FU, which stands for Freeform Universal, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how I'm
RPG.
gonna look that up after this.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool. My buddy, I have a friend who loves the simplest games in the world.
Yeah.
It's
like, a really if you like the idea of pulling out a role playing game as like a party game, Foo would be like. It's like the one.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever played Lasers and Feelings?
I was just gonna mention that.
I know about it. In fact, I just recently did I tell you? Did I show you this?
I don't think so.
I found a supplement that's like it's for Lasers and Feelings, and it's for like it's a supplement that's like themed around Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh,
They just mentioned that in our last video.
Yeah. So
awesome.
I'd heard about it before, but that was the first time I ever actually like looked at the rules. And yeah, like that's
it's a one-page RPG. Everything's on one. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's becoming kind of a big thing these days. Is like the one-page RPG. I think that's great. It gets people in the door. You know.
I mean, there's so many. There's a cyberpunk version, Rocker Boys and Vending Machines. There's a ton of different versions of Lasers and Feelings, and that's absolutely a party game. You could just pull it out, and start playing with a group.
Yeah,
it's fun.
The best thing with that is just like print up like 100 copies and just have them sitting on the table.
Yeah.
Have them sitting on the table with a pile of 6-siders.
Is there any other games you guys enjoy?
I mean, Freeman, you didn't give us one.
Oh, I'm trying to think because I played what these guys play.
You have a particular favorite or?
What's your go-to game? What do you guys play the most?
Well, I'd have to say it's 5e.
Yeah.
It's Dungeons and Dragons.
That campaign that I mentioned that's been going on for like 3 years that we kind of got together. We started it in Pathfinder. And then sort of switched over to 5th edition at one point because I realized I was house ruling so much that I just went ahead and just said, you know what, forget it. Let's just go to 5th edition. Let's just make the change. So that's kind of been our go-to. We haven't really looked back since then, but
good call.
Yeah.
I mean, we always say 5e as much as we used to, but it's an elegant system. In my personal opinion, and I've played every D&D system, it's my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing D&D since the white box. So, 1977 I've been gaming. So my point is 5th edition.
That's awesome.
Definitely, I think 5th edition took all the best parts of all the other editions, and made a great game, because I absolutely hate it first.
And you never have a problem finding players. That's one thing.
Yeah, that's a big one. You never have any problem finding.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have players in excess.
Yeah, in fact, one of the reasons, there were a lot of them, but one of the reasons that we decided to refocus because we were originally going to do a Cypher campaign for our actual play, but we sort of refocused. Yeah, there it is.
How dare
We're still going to do it. We're still planning on doing it. But like we might have a hard time getting viewership unless we start with D&D first, because that's,
makes sense.
and people know it.
Yeah. There's definitely a big drawing point for most people. Like
It
is. We reel them in with D&D, and then we keep them with our own, like force of personality, and then do whatever the hell we want,
I mean, it's no shame in it. It's the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
Yeah.
Everyone knows, every other company is a little guppy in the pond for the shark that is, Wizards of the Coast. So it is what it is.
I mean, as big as Pathfinder is.
And it's really too bad because I picked up the Cypher system. I first learned about it through Geek and Sundry's Callisto 6 is when I first heard about it. And then I picked it up after Gen Con. I didn't buy it at Gen Con because I already loaded up with other RPG books that I couldn't quite justify
in your bags.
That too, yeah. But then, I picked it up and pretty much immediately fell in love with it. Like I'm so excited to run something in Cypher at some point. I really want to do it. So we temporarily shelved our Cypher campaign, but it's temporary. I promise it is.
Well, you guys are more than welcome to jump in one of our one-shots. We run one-shots weekly. Yeah. And we run all sorts of crazy stuff.
Come play with us if you guys need a fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
We all about the crazy one-shots. We'll do from Scooby-Doo, Power Rangers.
That's Henry's jam.
I on one-shots.
I've done, like he said, Anthony has done some of the best one-shots. His comedy is off the chain.
Nice.
Al's a murderer.
What? I'm not a murderer. What?
That's what you have. You remember my poor dinosaur?
Sounds like there's a story there.
Predation.
Yeah, predation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's not murder.
Very, very fun setting. If you want to try Cypher settings, absolutely my favorite. I love Predation, the dinosaur companions, high tech. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
in
a
your
really
last
fascinating setting.
in
Huh?
your last episode, you guys talked about the differences between sci-fi and fantasy. Since we were talking about predation, I was wondering
Yeah.
if you guys, heard of or seen the Arcana of the Ancients, MCG's new Kickstarter. And
Yeah.
hold on, I want to back up 1 second. I texted Lucas and said, "Hey, you guys talked about sci-fi and fantasy, and no one mentioned Numenera. It's like sci-fi
Yeah.
fantasy, dude."
I know.
But
It was like,
okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
oh no, just it was right there. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but at some point we were talking about something, and I was like, oh, mention Numenera, and then just completely got driven out of my brain. It was like, it didn't quite make it from here to here, you know?
But have you guys heard of the Kickstarter, and what do you guys think about Numenera being ported over to 5e?
Ooh.
I don't know. Lucas played in a Numenera one shot, right?
Yeah.
I don't know this. I know what the art looks like for the setting.
Yeah.
I don't know a bunch about the details.
Yeah.
How about this? I'll give you a quick overview. 1 billion years in the future, there have been 8 ages before then, and now this is the 9th age. And people are rediscovering the past. But the past is so far advanced that it's like a thing unto magic. So there's your, the melding of the science and the fantasy. It's a great setting.
Yeah. Well, I'll say for myself, I'm excited for it, and because like one of the areas of RPG I never really got a chance to dip my toes into is that whole like spelljammer kind of thing. Like I always found that so fascinating, but never actually got a chance to do that kind of thing. And now I'm a big fan of that, like weird sci-fi and fantasy crossovers. I love those kinds of things. So I'm pumped. I'm really pumped for it.
Nice.
It's definitely very exciting.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
But
It's a little love-hate for me because I love Numenera, the setting, and I love the Cypher system rule set.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in one way, like, we support Monica Games wholeheartedly. They
Yeah.
have my money. I just throw it at them. They catch it. We do. But, in a way, it's sort of like, come on, 5e has everything. Now you're going to take Numenera too? So
Yeah, I hear that.
And I get it. I kind of feel that, but I look at it the other side of the coin. They want some of that 5e money.
yeah, you can't blame them for that.
you gotta be real. You gotta be real.
Everybody wants that 5e money. I mean, you have to. Think about it. You've said it a million times, Anthony.
Mhm.
D&D is in the golden age. It's the platinum age. Everybody, D&D is cool now. We were into it at a time when you said D&D. What? Are you a devil worshiper? And you say Jesus? It was that time, Now everybody wants to get on board, get on the bandwagon. So
Yeah. Well, I kind of thinking about this. There's a chance it might have like the other effect, right? Like people come to it who are like already playing D&D and they get the rule set and they're like, wait, this is interesting. What's the actual game like? And then so maybe they'll get a kickback.
Yeah, we're hoping that there's that gateway type deal going on there.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
D&D is the marijuana of RPGs.
Try some D&D. It's great. I also have some Cypher, some Lasers and Feelings.
Yeah.
D&D is the marijuana.
You gotta be careful with this stuff.
I got some dice.
What
Dice.
D&D was
Oh, man.
the marijuana? What would be the crack? GURPS?
Oh, I don't even know, man. I want it so crunchy. I need a crunch. Oh, crunch.
GURPS will fuck you up, man.
GURPS ain't
No,
no
no.
good.
Now that we're talking about different systems, it was actually a really great segue into the next question.
Yeah.
If you guys had to pick one RPG system to play for the rest of your lives, what would it be and why?
You take this one, man.
That one's really hard.
I'll think about mine.
That's what we do. We have the hard questions, man.
Yeah. Well, okay. I don't want to sound like a suck up here, but and I don't have a lot of experience with the Cypher system, but it might be that one because it's so versatile. And we did a bunch of one shots in it that were like we did a cyberpunk one, like a generic space opera one, and an actual Star Wars one. Just quick little one shots. They're all super fun. Like, and I want to I kind of want to play traditional fantasy in the Cypher system. I want to do like more like Arthurian legend fantasy. It's for some reason I feel like I was thinking about all this. I mean, you can do this in any system like that, but I like what I've seen of Cypher. So that's my not sucking up answer.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
We say GURPS right now.
Nope.
You don't want to play
The one time I tried to learn GURPS, I realized within about 15 minutes that I'd made a mistake.
I was there too.
Freeman
I
can
was
use
there
my
too.
witness here.
The only problem I have with GURPS is the 1 second turns. I can't deal with 1 second turns. Like, you know,
Yeah. No.
you can't do anything in 1 second, and everything literally takes. You know, a combat is like turn 2037.
Oh, God,
Like,
no.
I can't deal with 1 second turns. It takes forever.
Oh,
So what would your guys pick?
Oh man, this is hard. This is hard. My first introduction was D&D.
There's nothing wrong with D&D.
But then there were so many other things that just like popped up everywhere, and I was like, okay, there's a lot. Oh wow. And I have to say probably D&D. I'm gonna be that guy.
Yeah, guys, it's not a bad answer.
There's a lot of that.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, you have a lot of people playing with you for that.
Yeah,
Never be alone.
He's gonna be by himself playing Cypher.
one of us.
No, I'll be over there.
Oh man, I guess I'm gonna have to be that other guy and give the cop out answer, which is that like I would never choose.
I love all my babies equally.
Yeah.
I can't pick one.
I wouldn't. I'm the guy who shows up to people's houses like for just a regular social gathering with my stack of RPG books. Be like, oh, this isn't what we're doing. Oh, well, how about this? Can we do it anyway? You know. So I don't know. I think my initial instinct was to say D&D, but then you made such a compelling case for Cypher and have an answer for you.
I just feel like if not Cypher, another like
Generic
genre agnostic
Yeah.
system, because I love D&D and I theory craft character builds in my head. Like I can sometimes I play it like a power game or whatever, but it's pretty one note. I mean, that's bad. I mean D&D's great, but it's fantasy and it's pretty fighty and you know
That's true. That's true.
Hey, Henry, you're a man of my own. Like I said, I started out. There was only one RPG when I started playing. So, but Cypher system is the place to be. You know, I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I still get D&D books, but I haven't played D&D honestly in the last 4 years now. I haven't run a game. I haven't played a game. I just kind of walked away. I found the Cypher Unlimited community. Well, I started doing demos. I got the asset team. I started doing demos, and like tons of those. And then, when did we meet? Last year, Anthony? 2017.
A couple of months before Gen Con. So,
Well, it was 2017.
no, it had to be 2018 because we.
No, it was 2017 because I wasn't married yet.
Oh man.
We met in 2017. We met because it was right. Because remember, you guys were just building. You were building Cypher Unlimited, and we met a few months in, and you know, from there it was just over. It was like crazy because I've been running, and I run on there all the time. You know, I got a morning game that I'm gonna run because people want to play. You know, different parts of the country and the world. So,
do any of you run have you run con games or?
We've all run con games.
I will say that I've only been to one gaming convention. I was Gen Con last year, and all I did was run demos for MCG. Not full on games. It was like the really like 1 hour demos for predation because I love it. But it was a lot of fun. It was definitely really great introducing new people to the mechanics of the system, especially predation because I love the little dinosaur companions, and it was really nice seeing people role play as dinosaurs, which again is my favorite part of predation, is seeing people role play as dinosaurs.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, con GMing is definitely a different mindset. Like, I think that you have 4 hours to impress these people on the game system that they've may never played before. So, you want to highlight whatever adventure they give you, but you also want to make it as enjoyable as possible for that person that paid $4 or $5 or whatever it is to sit down. So you kind of feel obligated to want to, give the best show you possibly can.
And I've been going to cons for 30 years. So, and I've been running, I'll run just about any and everything, but I love it. I love running at cons. Gen Con, I'll probably be running about, 20 hours of MCG game.
Yeah, he's crazy. He was doing he was probably doing what? You did what, 12 sessions or something? Some ridiculous
A lot.
I did
the whole Gen Con. Where's Deed? He's running the game. Oh, screw that guy. We go to the bar.
I'm the oldest guy in the bunch, and they all went to bed talking about I'm tired.
You get tired. You get tired.
But I'm gonna We could go on all night.
Oh yeah.
So what can we look forward to, guys? We already know that we're getting the D&D actual play coming and all that, but what does the Rule of Lore have in the future for us?
This is actually something we talk about a lot. I know that one of the things that we really want to do with this is we just want to have more opportunities to talk games and gaming with people, particularly with our community. So that's something that we right now. Ramblemancy is kind of all over the place, as per the name, Ramblemancy. But I think having time to our first topics in Ramblemancy, we're talking about tabletop gaming, and I think we were always planning on looping back around and coming back talking about that, because that's something that's the heart of this whole thing. That's the heart of this whole project that we started, is tabletop gaming. And while it's important to kind of loop in all the other adjacent stuff, that's kind of where this all started. So probably something like that. I know we've talked about potentially doing some video game streams and stuff like that at some point, just kind of having it be a variety channel, that has its genesis and its focus on, tabletop gaming, but that does a little bit of everything. So right now, we're still so early on, we don't really know what we are. We're kind of figuring that along the way.
So that's cool.
Whatever we do in terms of content, what I'm hoping for and looking forward to is the community building part, but getting to know specific people by their Twitch name or their face, whatever, actually forging connections through the internet,
and then meeting them hopefully in real life. That'd be I'd
Gen
love
Con.
that so much.
I want to get a feel for the community, because it's all really new to me, at least.
Yo, that is awesome. We started with a server first as opposed to our faces out there.
Right.
But we went to Gen Con and we met so many people hey, I know you.
Yeah.
And it was just people that we spoke to,
online,
over Discord server, online. It was it's a special feeling. It really is.
And I mentioned earlier our artist, and she does streams, and there's Kaitlin Bruder. She does a lot of fan art for a lot of these actual play shows.
If you give me her links, I will provide it on the description.
Yeah, I'll send those to you right after we get done here. I'll send you the link, because she's great. But she has an art streaming channel, which she too is kind of going into the variety sort of direction, or at least that's her plan. But we were talking today, and she's a little bit further ahead of us in terms of her channel's development. And she was telling me today how weird of a feeling it is that there's already people talking to her whenever anybody brings up Gen Con. People are already talking to her about oh, we should have a meetup for all of your viewers, and she's like, wait, what? Because it's still so new, and I'm like, that's got to be such a strange feeling. I can't even imagine.
It's strange and wonderful. As these guys will tell you, we made a bunch of friends through the Cypher Unlimited Discord, And then just like people, once Gen Con was coming around, we were making plans like, hey, we made a Gen Con channel to talk for people who are there, to set up meetups in person. And it's amazing saying like, hey, I know you from the internet for like a few months.
Right.
This is your face, and I can shake your hand. Like,
How weird is that? That's so strange.
it's awesome though. It is definitely awesome.
Yeah.
The next weird portion too, after Gen Con, then other people you didn't know kind of know who you are, and they start like shouting you out on Twitter and stuff like this. You know, it's like, who is this guy? I don't know. Why is he talking about me like that? You know, and like really, really cool because, you know, we made you make those connections. And like even like right now, this is great talking to you guys. We're gonna be for you at Gen Con, you know, and it's gonna be great to go. Hey, there they are. What's up, guys?
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh man.
Well,
Here, or we might subject you to GM roulette.
No, you definitely get in on that. It's a lot of fun.
yeah. Yeah.
Guys, I was gonna say, go ahead, Lucas. You can say something.
I was just gonna quickly like pulling it back to something that you guys said earlier, was just the this kind of related to this is how supportive the community of streamers and content creators is. That's kind of what for a while we were just sort of talking like, oh, maybe we'll do this. This sounds good, but it wasn't until we actually got support even advice from some of the people already in that community, and then just seeing it even like secondhand, right? Seeing that kind of support, lifting each other up, and that's what made us really feel like this was something we could do, and what made us feel like it was something we'd wanted to do. So yeah.
I mean, I went back and watched. I watched it, like I said earlier. I watched the entire catalog, and I like you guys. You guys are enjoyable. You're funny. You make me laugh.
I like
Thank you so much.
You.
That means a lot to us.
You know, I mean, if you make me laugh, then I'm on your side to the end of the day. So I enjoy your content. So keep it going.
Hey,
At
Anthony,
least for my sake.
Hey, Anthony, I look at these guys, and I just figured it out. They are Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
He's a speaker, and Henry, he's an adept, and then we have the large silent warrior in the back.
It's very, very
definitely not inaccurate.
Spot fucking on, right?
wow. Yep.
So we got rid of the hard, we got rid of all those, easy questions. So you guys are ready for the in-depth, hard, dig deep into your soul questions.
I'm ready.
These are our 9 rapid-fire questions. And Freeman's going to answer first, but you all guys are going to answer. But player or GM?
Player.
Lucas?
GM.
Player.
All right, so pull punches or go for the TPK?
I'm a softie. Pull punches.
TPK.
Okay.
Online or in-person gaming?
Hey, you didn't let Freeman answer.
Online or in person?
In person.
Yeah, in person.
In person, baby.
Announce the difficulty number or keep it secret?
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Keep it secret.
Yeah, keep it secret.
Nice.
Salty or sweet snacks at the gaming table?
Oh, sweet snack.
Whoa. Salted. Oh.
Salty. Yeah.
RP, combat, or a good mix?
Ooh, good mix.
Good mix.
RP all the way.
PDFs or physical books?
Physical book.
Physical books.
Physical books. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Pen and paper notes or digital?
Pen and paper.
PNP.
Freeman, no notes. You don't take notes, Freeman?
I said pencil.
I didn't hear it.
Actually.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
Awesome.
So, do we want those pre-written adventures, or do we want to create our own?
Ooh. Pre-written.
Create own.
Yeah, create.
All right, that was our rapid fire questions. Yeah.
Hey.
We got through the hard hitters.
Man, you like cut right to the bone with those questions, man.
Attention with a knife.
But yeah.
Have to hash some shit out of.
No, they like cyberpunk monofilament blades.
Yeah, perfect. There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a great talk. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It was wonderful hearing about you guys getting started with Rule of Lore and all the stuff that goes into it and how you guys are proceeding towards the future. And it's just great to hear that perspective. And yeah,
Thanks so much for having us.
anytime, we're happy to have people from the community on, like you guys said earlier. It's such a vital thing to do when you're part of a community like this, to try to uplift everyone else, to give them that platform or whatever have you. Because the more we help each other, the more the hobby grows and whatever have you.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Yeah. We'll definitely be sure to get all your information down below. And do you guys have like a Twitter or something that viewers can follow you on? Do you have one for Rule of Lore, individual ones? Like, how can we go about reaching you online?
We have it's just at Rule of Lore, I think, is the Twitter, right?
Yeah. At Rule of Lore on Twitter. I'm at Jenk_Hankins, JENNKINS.
I already forgot my Twitter.
Here's Free Range Man.
Oh yeah, at Free Range Man. Thank you. At _range_man, I believe. Yeah. Thank you, Henry.
I don't really have a Twitter.
We'll drag him into the 21st century.
But, we'll definitely add all those links down below, as well as to any like your Twitch, your YouTube, all that stuff, so all our viewers can have easy access to your materials.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone for watching so much. We wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. We don't get anywhere without your help, vice versa. And from us at the CU, we will see you later.